Right, this is my first video on YouTube, and hi. Now, I'm going to talk to you. This is the first day of E3. It's the 1st of the 6th, 2009.
Time is 9:17.
Thanks. Now, I tell you what. I've just watched the Microsoft presentation, and all in all, the games didn't really impress me too much. Then, they did. 1. Metal Gear Solid. Big surprise.
Traitor.
Then, bigger. Final Fantasy. Only kidding. I'm not that mad. Then, bigger. You're going to hear this everywhere, and you're going to probably get fed up with it. Project Natal or whatever. Brilliant. Now, that got me thinking when I was watching it. I'm sure many moons ago, I and other people, my friends,
Sit here.
being the plonker, saw this for the first time many years ago, possibly over 10 years ago. This type of technology at a computer trade show, just for the industry. We went to it, and there was this new console which is about to come out very shortly, and it was called the PlayStation 2. Wasn't even on sale. You couldn't even buy a PlayStation 2 anywhere in the world. And they had this new idea of a camera, which ended up becoming the iToy, and it had this amazing feature. People were playing games, going woo, woo, just in front of the camera and going bush, 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 bush.
And waving objects.
Waving objects and going woo, 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 woo.
Pretend
like
they're
that.
swords or whatever.
And, you know, it just made me think. And then you think, Sony, you had this technology donkeys years ago. Why haven't you used it? I don't know. But then again, this is Sony. They know best. Now, let's go and look at other things that Sony knows best. Let's go and look at our this phenomena on the PlayStation and how pissed up they fucked it up big time. Well done. It's called Home. It had so much hype and so much interest from the public, but nevertheless, Sony being Sony, annoyed a lot of people. A lot of people got actually annoyed because the way they treated them. They badly managed it. Now, they could have made it a lot better managed if they had a blog in Europe.
Does Europe exist?
Until last week, there wasn't a blog. It only started last week, but in the US, yeah, that's been there for about 1.5 years now. Cool. I ain't got a problem with the blog in the US, but, you know, all the competitions were just for the US. All the news was just about the US. You know, brilliant, but no use to me. And I don't give a monkeys about the US. But you have to have a US account if you have a PlayStation 3, because you won't get far. Fact. Now, you go into Home, as it was developed in London, the majority of the work. It actually came out of a project called The Getaway Online, which never came out. And only about October last year, they found some old code from The Getaway where you used to have a gun, which they took out because there was no need for it anymore. But that proves the point. Now, Home's brilliant. Pissed up by Sony and marketing, but
It's got a lot of potential if they did it.
an awful lot of potential, and it's been pissed up. Now, here we go. This is what's happened. There's two parts of the world to Sony. There's the US, there's Japan. Nowhere else in the world exists. It's a void. Doesn't exist. Except for every console they've sold in the US and Japan combined, they could triple it or quadruple it in Europe alone. But hey, it doesn't exist. Now, let's go and watch this a bit more closely. Remember I said Home was developed in London, vast majority of the work. Now, Home. Where you go into this European section and you go and look at the home spaces, and you can count them on the hand how many spaces you got. You go to the US, you have to get 2 hands up, and you have to get your feet up as well. Yeah, it's that many in the US. Now, where was Home developed again? That place called London in Europe. You know? And where wasn't it developed? The US, but who's got the most? US, where no one owns the PS3 and everyone lives in Europe who owns a PS3. Doesn't have all these spaces. No, there's another new feature that was just for E3. The presentation podium. Cool, I thought. That'd be a bit cool. And in Europe, what we're getting at the moment is a blue logo with the Home logo and a piece of nonsense about it's not just about games. Cool. I'm well impressed. So, me being me, I've got an account in the US. Guess what I did next? I went to the US. Today is the 1st of the 6th, 2009. Remember that day?
9/24.
Went off to the US, had a look at their version of it. And I was expecting to see a blue background with the PlayStation logo and saying about it's not just about games. But as you can probably guess, I'm being sarcastic. What did I get? Well, I've got some videos being streamed, which can't be done in Europe because there's no games in Europe, because Europe doesn't exist. Everyone knows Europe doesn't exist. It's a fact. Europe doesn't exist. So, what else is up my goat at the moment? I tell you what. Small things. Only small things will upset me. News. Final Fantasy on the Xbox. Don't care. Don't like it. I think it's rubbish. But the one that has got me annoyed. Really annoyed. Metal Gear Solid. On the Xbox. And the game's not going to be ported to PS3 because it's a so-called exclusive, which could mean we might get it in 2 to 3 years' time, if we ever. So, all I gotta say, me 3 at the moment, the winner, looks like it's gonna be one firm, Microsoft, just because of Metal Gear Solid and Project Natal, or whatever it is. Amazing. As you can probably tell, I would like something like that, because that's the way I am. Now, do I own a PS3? Of course I do. How am I taping this? PlayStation Eye camera. Connected to my PS3. Using the most rubbish toy ever invented, the i3. Needs a lot of updating. Should do YouTube uploading. So, Sony, get you off your canny arse, or I tell you, I'm going to come down there and give you an arse whip, because you're a bunch of plonkers. I dare you to take me on. I dare you, because I show you how to do it right. Not how you do it now.